by me, Mr. Luby or Dominic, or whatever you prefer. So what is a CSPAP? Is a comprehensive school physical activity program. It's similar to the whole community model that we talked about during our faculty meetings earlier in the before school started. It's similar about creating a safe environment. Sorry, it's a little, doesn't look very clear. So it's about the whole, like make sure students have a safe environment or are healthy, have the access to exercise and all these other different components, getting community involvement. So CSPAP has 5 components, very similar to the whole community model. And it's about physical education, physical activity before and after school, and family community engagement, staff involvement, and physical activity during school. So my CSPAP, what I wanted to do was get staff involved, as well as incorporating physical activity during school. So I wanted to, like those Go Noodles, like when we were in Orange and recess, we couldn't go outside with smoke. Go Noodle, I saw some of you using Go Noodle, which is an awesome thing. So I'm going to talk about Go Noodle today. And so it's very cool that I saw that, and I didn't think maybe a lot of people did know about it, and you all impressed me by that you did. So essentially, like with school, especially now with going home and being away from school and then just getting physical activity in general, I feel like getting those brain breaks and those 2 or 3 minute cute or those little dance videos on Go Noodle or even a YouTube link to get just students active is so awesome and so important, especially for brain function. And it would be also very helpful. Like studies show that with exercise, especially with the elementary kids, the more exercise you have, the less disciplinary actions needed. So it would help the administration. So yes. I said my portion, I'm wanting to focus on staff involvement. Do any of you know the amount of time for physical activity per day is? There's a little hint on the screen, and it's 60 minutes. 60 minutes is the goal. If you could get 60 minutes of exercise, that's better. That's the goal you want to get. So I wanted to spread knowledge on different apps to increase physical activity with Go Noodle, and also I wanted to incorporate ways to record data just data involving these things called plickers and plagnets. They're essentially made by the same company. It's just one's a little different than the other one. Actually, I brought some plagnets to show all of you, and they're pretty cheap too. Plickers you can get for free, and then plagnets I think you can get a set of 30 for like $8. So it's not like a huge dent in the wallet. And so I wanted to say these are awesome ways to ask questions without students knowing what other students are feeling on a topic. So the embarrassment aspect of like getting something wrong, you essentially eliminate that, or unless they act like, oh, I got it wrong, but them actually like you saying, oh, that's wrong, Johnny, and all that stuff. So in that aspect, it's good. So my whole goals and objectives for this is just to expand knowledge for teachers, to test students, as well as increase student physical activity in the classrooms. Especially with those like psychomotor. Psychomotor means demonstrating knowledge. So like in PE, demonstrating the cues of throwing a football or kicking a soccer ball and all that stuff. And then cognitive, like recalling and identifying information, whether it be math, science, English, all those things. And then students to be able to use technology in PE as a tool, and then have those, like I said, the results and responses, especially affective. Affective is students' feelings and working with others. So affective responsive, so like being able to show good sportsmanship to fellow classmates and some other things like so. Well, the cool thing is strengths and priorities is due to our predicament for the global pandemic. We are always learning about technology and ways to incorporate learning. So this is just another awesome, hopefully easy way to incorporate technology. I also saw that, like I said earlier, that you used Go Noodle or YouTube during recess. So that was awesome. And I noticed that all of you have projectors and internet access in your classroom. So Go Noodle is an awesome source. And then especially if we go back to red or orange, incorporating, and even yellow, incorporating movement breaks and exercise is awesome, especially when students are at home. So like those Wednesdays that we're going to have now, um, it's incorporated to get them moving. So that's really cool. And so as I said, it takes away the pressure and embarrassment. And then 60 minutes of exercise a day is awesome. So if you could incorporate 4 minutes of just like a brain break, or um, just getting a little bit of exercise, dance, little stuff, jumping jacks, just to get the brain pumping, brain and blood pumping, so that we get closer to that 60 mark, because they get PE once a week. So that's 40 minutes of exercise. So 60 minutes times 5, it's not 300, but like it is 300, but what is it? I don't remember the number. I think it was 225 is the goal per week for students from my textbook and stuff like that. 225 is the desired for elementary. And so if we could get that per week is like tremendous. So like they have access to outside for recess. So hopefully they're moving out there. So that's 15 minutes, 30 for if you count also into the other recess. And then I think they have lunch recess as well. So right there. So if you can incorporate, let's say 20 minutes periodically through the day on top of their recess activities, you'll definitely hit the 60 goal. And then, like I said earlier, for administration, students being more behaved and less minor and major forms to fill out for the office. So it keeps that administrative team in office without having as many, as being as busy. And so, yeah, so Go Noodle is an awesome video and stuff that shows little funny videos of like them dancing and stuff. So just minor movement.
Patterns in the air, patterns everywhere, patterns made of shapes, patterns made of grapes, patterns on the cheetah, patterns on my feet, patterns in the nap, patterns in this rap. Make a pattern, let's make a pattern. All right, cool, make a pattern.
So like what that video showed and all that stuff is just silly dances, getting them to move around, following a dance and stuff like that. Go Noodle, I attached a video. If you want, they talk about exactly what they like, as they show channels, categories, and you can discover. You have an account, and what it is every level, so every video watch, you get points to either a new character or a new level. And so you can watch different categories. So like if you're doing math, you can incorporate a math exercise video. If you're incorporating science into your lesson, doing a science video or English and stuff like that. So on top of being active, they also have the aspect of maybe learning something from the video as well. And so like this is what I'm actually going to do. This is the important part is depending on what level you are and all that stuff, we're going to start at a date, and whoever has the highest increase in levels or more characters, I'm going to have a gift card for a coffee or Dutch Bros. So whoever the top 2 or 3 will all get a gift card to Dutch Bros. So any type of physical activity is great. Dancing, jumping around, yoga, even yoga, just stretching and stuff is great. Getting out of the seat. And then if you don't want to use Go Noodle, YouTube is also a great source. And then Mrs. Burt has plenty of awesome small-sided games for classroom and all that other stuff from the PE teacher. So to get those blood pumping, because I remember when we had recess duty, we incorporated some fun activities while we were doing recess. So now here comes the fun part about assessments. We all love assessments. We like proof of how our students are doing. So Plinkers and Plagness is a form of technology. It's the ability to assess our students in the cognitive and affective domain. Psychomotor's not, because psychomotor's demonstrating, so that's pretty hard to do that one with these. But so they look like these little pictures on the far left. They all have their different shapes, and they have letters on the side, A, B, C, or D, and they have a number. So what you can do is you can create a chart or like a list of all your students, and then have them assigned per number, and then A, B, C, or D is your choices. It looks like Gizmo from one of my favorite shows, Amazing World of Gumball, and there's an app on the phone, so you can use it on the phone. And it reminds me of the Rorschach test. What do you see in this picture? I see two rabbits fighting. That's what I see. So it reminds me of it just as a funny joke. And then so my Nolan Amy was a teacher in California, and he came up with this great idea, and it was a great form of assessment that can be used worldwide. So usage of the app, I'm going to show you just a little bit of a video, just like
one of the things that I do
2
in my
minutes.
class as far as a review activity is a little activity called clickers. It's akin to students having their own little clicker where you project a question on the board and they can say A, B, C, or D, but it doesn't actually use any technology. Students don't have any technology in their hands. They have a little piece of paper. So these are what are known as the clickers. Each one is a little different kind of shape, and the idea is that if a student wants to say that the answer is A, they're going to hold it up like this with A on the top. If they think the answer is B, they're going to hold it like that, C, and so forth. And the good thing about this is students can't really see what the other people are holding up because these don't look like the actual letter, and so they're not actually just putting the letter up that they see everybody else putting up. So you get a little bit number 2 had put in student number 3. Clickers comes with an app, and you can actually, you don't have to put the questions in on the app, you can just do it on the computer, but then you can queue them up for your actual class. I like to start with a simple fun question that students can answer. It says, what do you normally eat for breakfast? When I click on that, it will actually project the question up on the board. And so I can read it, and I can tell students, all right, go ahead and pick the one that you want. I tell the students to hold it up based on the answer that they have. And then when I'm ready to scan, I'll just come back to the app. I'll click the little camera button, and it can actually read all of their answers, even pretty far away. And seeing if it's right or wrong, this question doesn't have a right or wrong answer. Of course, souls is probably the correct answer for what you eat for breakfast. But since there's no right or wrong answer, it doesn't show up as green or red. If I click on stop, now I can actually see the data of who answered what. We've got a lot of soul eaters. And what's really
so like what he did was, it was really cool and all that stuff, and the students were involved, and he made it funny as well. So that's the key part. I'm gonna have a sheet of paper sent to you tomorrow. I'm gonna hand deliver them all to you. I will also have this PowerPoint just sent to you as well, as long as with this video as well, so that you have different ways to remember, like have different options to look at, read if you don't want to watch my silly butt on this video. So I'm giving you multiple ways to learn about this, and so this guy does an excellent job. If remember, I'm sending the PowerPoint, so if you want to watch the rest of the video, that's cool as well. And so he's an awesome guy, and he makes it fun in the classroom. So I'll go to the next slide. So it can be used in the classroom. I've used it in PE plenty of times with Mr. Bush's class. And the cool thing is, like, you don't need Wi-Fi if you have it on your phone. You can use data and stuff like that. So that's awesome. And then I chose to laminate it. Laminating has a good and bad side, lasts longer, but problem is sometimes the lighting can make a glare and make it really hard to read. I noticed that especially outside. So like not having paper sucks that you might have to reprint it multiple times, but it won't glare. And so it also could be used as a participation grade as well. So if you aren't clocked in, or if you're not participating, not putting up your thing, that could be another way for assessment. So like I said, I'm going to be giving a gift card to the top 2 or 3, depending on how many I got. I got Dutch Bros to donate me gift cards for this this project. So I'm super excited and grateful for Dutch Bros. So I want to show you real quick what the website looks like on Plickers. If I can escape. Exit. So I created this. So this is my account. I go to my library. It shows me all the different things I've created. So like I have one for dribbling, heart rate, Plicker presentation, soccer affective. And so then over here on the far left, I have different classes that I've taken, and I had to create it. And then also Mr. Bush. I created one for Mr. Bush, and don't mind the 44%. I forgot to not have a correct or wrong answer. So if you wanted to have a correct answer, they obviously didn't do it very well if I did, but I forgot to change that. So the cool thing is that